Hi and welcome to this lesson where I'm going to show you how to do keyword research on the Pinterest platform. By doing this before you start creating any of your content for Pinterest, you're really setting yourself up for success because you are using the words that people on the platform are actually searching for. And this allows Pinterest to serve up your pins to the right people. Okay, so let's hop on over to Pinterest and see how that might look. Right, so when you're logged into Pinterest, you can see at the top here we've got a search bar. So this is where people are searching for content on Pinterest. Now when you're just starting out, you might be a bit overwhelmed and not sure where to begin. So I would suggest starting with a really broad term around your industry or niche, and Pinterest will start helping you to really drill down to what people are looking for. So for this example, I'm going to pretend that I am a wedding photographer and I'm not sure what it is that people on Pinterest and the brides that I want to connect with might be using as their search terms. And so a really good starting point is to put wedding photographer or wedding photography. Now straight away you can see here as you're typing in, Pinterest is giving you some ideas here. So we've got wedding photography ideas, poses, getting ready and tips. So already we can see that wedding photography is a search term. And one way of thinking about this is like a seed search term, and then these are longer tail keywords that are coming off this main one. So anytime you put a search term into the search bar and it does show longer tail keywords sort of coming off that one, you know that this sort of main keyword is a good one, so you probably want to grab it. Now I find the easiest way to keep track of this, or a good starting point, is to create a spreadsheet. And in fact, you can download the copy of this spreadsheet that I've got here that I've started collecting keywords across different industries and niches. So if we add wedding photography to this, what I would do is make wedding photography my main keyword. And then start looking for these seed keywords that come off it and pasting them into the spreadsheet. And as you can see, when we go into wedding photography poses, it goes down even further. So for family, groomsmen, bridal party and getting ready. So you could take wedding photography poses and turn that into its own main keyword as well. And we'll talk a little bit later about what you're going to be doing with. So if we just go back up a level. So when I hit enter, so apart from those initial keywords that it gives you from the drop down, when you finished putting a keyword here into the search term, you get these little colored boxes underneath. And this is also another way that Pinterest is telling you that there are long tail keywords for this particular term. So again, we've got wedding photography tips. Then wedding photography tips for beginners, for camera settings, cheat sheets for brides. Now this one's interesting and it's something that you should really note. If in this example I am looking to see what brides are searching for in Pinterest, I need to then maybe look at this and see that wedding photography tips on the whole it seems to be aimed at other photographers. So it will be tips around the business of wedding photography. There is one here that's for brides, so that's worth looking into. And when you're doing your keyword research as well, just have a look at what pins are coming up and what topics are coming up. So this is still aimed at wedding photographers, and I would say this is too. But there are definitely pins here aimed at brides, so showcasing their photography, some content here for questions to ask my wedding photographer. So you could grab this specific long tail keyword, wedding photography tips for brides, but just be careful that you don't go too broad with it because you might start getting into territory where you're not getting your target audience. Now another place that Pinterest gives you some insight into what people are searching for on the platform is when you're actually scrolling down through the pins. And you will come across here searches to try. So what this is telling us is that people who are putting this term into the search bar are also looking for these terms. So these aren't necessarily long tail keywords that are falling off that one. So these are contextual keywords. So they're related to the search term you've put up here, but it's not quite so literal as it's just all the other terms that fall off that one. And this will help to broaden your keyword list and also make it more robust. And in fact, let's go up because this is in the tip. So if we go back to something that's more bride relevant, So getting ready for your wedding. Okay, when we scroll down here, we can see that here are some other contextual keywords that people are looking for on the platform. So we've got specific bride getting ready photos and groomsmen photos. Now the thing I love about this is it's not only giving you loads of keywords to use in Pinterest and your Pinterest strategy, but this is ideas for blog posts and content for your overall content marketing strategy as well. So if ever you're at a loss of what you might want to write next on your blog or what content might be relevant for the people that you want to target, then doing this activity will help you to come up with some really relevant ideas. Okay, so let's look at how you can start applying this to your own Pinterest strategy. So there's a spreadsheet here that I've created, so you can copy it down you have your own copy to start editing. And what I've done here is started filling it out to give you some ideas of how this might work. So with this wedding photography example, what we want here is to come up with the terms that are most broad for your Pinterest profile that describe what you do in terms of your niche. So for example, with the wedding photography idea, wedding photography is a good broad keyword, so that's why we've put this here. And when I dug down a little bit, I found terms like creative wedding photography beach. And so I would think about the type of photographer I am, the type of bride I want to attract, and use those sort of broader terms around the type of wedding photographer that I am. And so you want to get maybe 5 keywords under here that we're going to use on your Pinterest profile. And then we want to get some other keywords that we're going to use to start naming your boards. So the boards are like the topics in your niche that are really targeted towards your ideal client. And so when wedding photography poses came up, as we saw before, I'd actually use that as a term and create a board calling it wedding photography poses, and then see what longer tail keywords come off that. And so for each board, you want the sort of main keyword like this, and then probably we can come up with sort of 5 broader keywords that go underneath it. So another example here could be wedding photography getting ready. That could be the name of my next board. And then we've got things like getting ready the bride. And as you can see, this is we've come to the end of the road with this keyword. There's no sub keywords underneath it. So this is a good long tail keyword. It's definitely not something you'd want to use to create a board name with. Okay, so we've got wedding photography getting ready makeup, and so on. So the idea here is to create at least 5 boards if you're brand new. Ideally up to 10 if you can fit it in, but you can do it you can increase your board count over time. But a good starting point would be to just get 5 boards with the name of the board being this sort of main keyword for a topic, with a list of about 5 keywords underneath that fall under that sort of umbrella. And also don't forget to scroll down and see if you get any contextual keywords being suggested by Pinterest. So I might just go back up a level. So you can grab these keywords and add them in as well. So you could have a look at like wedding photo ideas. Maybe that could be a name of a board. Pop it into the search bar up here and see what happens. Bride getting ready photos would probably go under here. So, and this gives you a sort of richer pool of keywords to use. So you're not just sort of repetitively using the same keyword over and over. And don't get overwhelmed and think that you need to come up with hundreds of keywords right now. Just get started, get 5 boards, 5 keywords. You've got your spreadsheet. You can always come back to this and keep updating it over time.